Stress is everywhere. It follows you into your mornings, sits quietly in your thoughts during the day, and whispers to you at night when everything is silent. Most people try to fight it, escape it, or numb it, but what if the answer is not to run, but to rise above it? This is where Stoicism becomes your greatest weapon. Not as a theory, but as a way of living that gives you control over your inner world, no matter how chaotic the outside becomes. The Stoics understood something most people ignore: you don't control events, but you always control your response. The moment you accept this, stress begins to lose its grip on you. Anxiety feeds on the illusion that everything must go your way. Stoicism breaks that illusion. It teaches you to focus only on what is within your control, your thoughts, your actions, your decisions, and to release everything else without resistance. Imagine waking up each day without the weight of overthinking, not because life is perfect, but because your mind is disciplined. When something goes wrong, instead of reacting emotionally, you pause. You observe. You respond with clarity. This is the Stoic edge. It's not about suppressing emotions, but mastering them so they no longer control you. One of the most powerful Stoic practices is negative visualization. Instead of fearing loss, you prepare for it mentally. You imagine setbacks, rejection, failure, not to become pessimistic, but to build resilience. When difficulties actually come, they don't shock you. You've already trained your mind to handle them. This reduces anxiety because nothing feels unexpected anymore. Most stress comes from expectations. You expect people to act a certain way. You expect life to follow your plans. But reality rarely obeys expectations. Stoicism teaches acceptance. Not passive acceptance, but intelligent acceptance. You accept what happens, then you act wisely within those circumstances. This mindset removes frustration and replaces it with calm focus. Your thoughts shape your experience. If you constantly tell yourself that life is overwhelming, your mind will believe it, but if you train your thoughts to see challenges as opportunities for growth, everything changes. Stoicism is mental training. It's choosing strength when weakness feels easier. It's choosing discipline when distractions are everywhere. Silence is another Stoic weapon against stress. Not everything requires your reaction. Not every opinion deserves your attention. The more you engage with unnecessary noise, the more your mind becomes cluttered. When you learn to stay silent and observe, you protect your peace. You conserve your energy for what truly matters. There is also power in simplicity. Modern life is filled with excess. Too much information, too many comparisons, too many distractions. Stoicism encourages you to simplify. Focus on what is essential. Cut out what is not. The less you carry mentally, the lighter you feel. And a lighter mind is a calmer mind. Discipline is the foundation of a stress-free life. When you control your habits, you control your future. Waking up on time, exercising your body, focusing on your work. These small actions build inner strength. Anxiety often comes from lack of control. Discipline gives that control back to you. Another key principle is detachment. This does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. You give your best effort, but you don't tie your happiness to the outcome. Whether you succeed or fail, you remain steady. This emotional stability is what separates strong minds from fragile ones. You must also learn to reframe pain. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can this teach me?" Every challenge carries a lesson. When you start looking for that lesson, stress transforms into growth. You no longer feel attacked by life. You feel trained by it. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to anxiety. When you focus on what you lack, your mind becomes restless. But when you focus on what you already have, your mind becomes peaceful. Stoicism teaches you to appreciate the present moment, because it is the only moment you truly own. Time is limited. This realization is not meant to scare you, but to awaken you. Most stress comes from wasting time on things that don't matter. When you understand the value of time, you naturally eliminate unnecessary worries. You become more intentional with your energy and your focus. You are stronger than you think. But strength is not built in comfort. It is built in resistance. Every time you choose calm over chaos, discipline over distraction, and logic over emotion, you are strengthening your mind. Over time, stress loses its power because you have become stronger than it. Control your inputs. What you watch, what you listen to, and who you spend time with all affect your mental state. If you constantly feed your mind negativity, stress will grow. But if you feed it wisdom, clarity, and purpose, your mind becomes a place of stability. You don't need to eliminate stress completely. That's not the goal. The goal is to become someone who can handle it with ease. Someone who remains calm under pressure. Someone who doesn't break when life becomes difficult. That is true power. Every day is a new opportunity to practice stoicism. Not perfectly, but consistently. You will have moments where you slip, where emotions take over, but that's part of the process. The key is to return to awareness, to remind yourself of what you can control. This is not just philosophy. This is a way of living that can transform your life. If you apply these principles daily, you will notice a shift. Your mind will become quieter. Your decisions will become clearer. Your life will become more intentional. If you found value in this, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe to the channel for more powerful insights like this that will help you master your mind, control your emotions, and build unshakable strength. Your journey to a calmer, stronger, and more focused life starts now. Consistency is where most people fail. They hear powerful ideas, feel motivated for a moment, and then slowly drift back into old habits. Stoicism demands more than inspiration. It demands repetition. You don't master your mind in a day. You train it daily, especially on the days you don't feel like it. That's where real growth begins. When stress hits unexpectedly, your first instinct is often reaction. You feel it rise in your chest, your thoughts race, and before you know it, you've lost control. But a Stoic trains for this exact moment. Instead of reacting, you pause. You take a breath. You create space between the event and your response. In that space lies your power. Your environment plays a bigger role than you think. If you surround yourself with chaos, your mind will mirror it, but if you intentionally create an environment of focus and calm, your thoughts begin to align with it. Clean your space. Reduce distractions. Protect your mental energy like it's your most valuable asset, because comparison is a silent destroyer of peace. You look at others and feel like you're behind, like you're not doing enough, like you're missing out. But Stoicism reminds you that your path is your own. Another person's success does not diminish yours. The only comparison that matters is who you were yesterday versus who you are today. You don't need approval to move forward. Many people live in constant anxiety because they seek validation from others. They overthink every action, every word, every decision. But the Stoic understands that external approval is unreliable. When you trust your values and your judgment, you free yourself from that burden. Fear is often worse than reality. Your mind creates scenarios that feel real, even though they haven't happened. Stoicism teaches you to challenge those thoughts. Ask yourself, is this within my control? Is this even real right now? Most of the time, you'll realize you're suffering from imagination, not reality. There is strength in slowing down. In a world that pushes speed and urgency, taking your time can feel unnatural. But clarity comes from stillness. When you slow your thoughts, you see things more clearly. You make better decisions. You reduce unnecessary stress caused by rushing through life without awareness. Your energy is limited. Every argument, every worry, every distraction takes something from you. If you spend your energy carelessly, you'll have nothing left for what truly matters. Stoicism teaches you to be selective. Not everything deserves your attention. Not everything deserves your reaction. Let go of the need to control people. You can guide, you can advise, but you cannot control how others think or act. Trying to do so only creates frustration. When you accept this, your relationships become lighter. You focus on your own actions instead of trying to manage everyone else's. Pain is part of life, but suffering is optional. Pain is what happens to you. Suffering is how you interpret it. Two people can go through the same situation and experience it differently. The difference is perspective. Stoicism trains you to choose a perspective that empowers you rather than weakens you. Your habits shape your mind more than your intentions ever will. You can intend to be calm, focused, and disciplined, but if your daily actions don't reflect that, nothing changes. Small habits, repeated daily, create a powerful shift over time. Control the small things, and the big things will follow. Resilience is built quietly. It's built in the moments no one sees. When you choose discipline over comfort, when you stay calm under pressure, when you keep going despite doubt, you are building a mind that cannot be easily shaken. Over time, this becomes your natural state. Stop overloading your mind with unnecessary information. Not everything you see online adds value to your life. In fact, most of it creates noise. Stoicism encourages you to be intentional about what you consume. Feed your mind with clarity, wisdom, and purpose, not chaos. Forgiveness is not about the other person. It's about freeing yourself. Holding on to anger keeps you tied to the past. It drains your energy and clouds your judgment. When you forgive, you release that weight. You create space for peace and clarity to enter your life. Uncertainty is unavoidable. Life will never be fully predictable. The more you try to eliminate uncertainty, the more anxious you become. Stoicism teaches you to become comfortable with the unknown, to move forward despite not having all the answers. That is where growth happens. Your mind is like a muscle. If you don't train it, it becomes weak. It gets easily overwhelmed, easily distracted, easily stressed. But when you challenge it, when you practice discipline, focus, and resilience, it becomes stronger. Over time, what once felt difficult becomes effortless. You don't have to respond to everything immediately. In fact, most situations benefit from delay. When you give yourself time to think, you avoid impulsive decisions. You respond with intention instead of emotion. This simple habit can eliminate a large portion of daily stress. Be honest with yourself. Sometimes, stress comes from avoiding reality. You ignore problems, delay decisions, and hope things will fix themselves. But avoidance only increases anxiety. When you face things directly, even if they're uncomfortable, you regain control. Your standards determine your life. If you accept mediocrity, you will live in it, but if you demand discipline, clarity, and growth from yourself, your life will reflect that. Stoicism is about raising your standards and living by them, regardless of how you feel in the moment. Every challenge is an opportunity to practice. Not someday, today. The next time you feel stressed, instead of seeing it as a problem, see it as training. A chance to apply what you've learned. A chance to strengthen your mind. There is a quiet confidence that comes with Stoicism. It's not loud or attention-seeking. It's calm, steady, and unshakable. It comes from knowing that no matter what happens, you can handle it. That confidence changes how you move through life. You are not your thoughts. Just because a thought enters your mind does not mean it is true. Stoicism teaches you to observe your thoughts without attaching to them. This creates distance, and in that distance, you gain control. Focus on progress, not perfection. You will not get everything right. You will make mistakes. But what matters is that you keep moving forward. Each step, no matter how small, brings you closer to mastery. Discomfort is not something to avoid, it's something to embrace. Growth lives on the other side of discomfort. When you willingly face difficult situations, you expand your capacity. You become stronger, more capable, and more resilient. Your life is shaped by what you tolerate. If you tolerate negativity, distraction, and weakness, that's what will grow. But if you tolerate only discipline, focus, and strength, your life will reflect that. At the end of the day, everything comes back to choice. You may not control what happens to you, but you always control how you respond. That is your power. That is your freedom. If this message is helping you see things differently, don't stop here. Subscribe to the channel for more powerful insights that will sharpen your mind, strengthen your discipline, and transform your life. The more you train your mind, the less control stress will have over you. Mastery begins when you stop waiting for the perfect moment. Many people delay change because they believe they need better conditions, more time, or more motivation. But Stoicism teaches that the moment you are in right now is enough. You don't need perfection to begin. You need decision. The sooner you start, the sooner your life begins to shift. Your morning sets the tone for everything that follows. If you wake up and immediately expose your mind to noise, distractions, and pressure, your day will feel chaotic. But if you start with intention, even a few moments of silence, reflection, or planning, you create a foundation of control. A strong morning leads to a steady mind. There is power in accepting discomfort without complaint. Most stress is amplified by resistance. You don't just feel the difficulty, you fight against it mentally. Stoicism removes that extra layer of suffering. It teaches you to say, "This is part of the process," and move forward without unnecessary emotional weight. The way you speak to yourself matters more than you realize. Your internal dialogue shapes your reality. If you constantly criticize yourself, doubt yourself, and expect the worst, your mind becomes a hostile place. But when you speak with clarity and strength, you create an inner environment that supports growth. Not every setback is a failure. Sometimes, it's a redirection. Life often closes one path to guide you toward another. When you adopt a Stoic mindset, you stop seeing obstacles as dead ends. You see them as adjustments. This shift in perspective reduces frustration and increases resilience. Patience is a skill. In a world driven by instant results, waiting can feel uncomfortable. But meaningful progress takes time. Stoicism teaches you to trust the process, to focus on consistent effort rather than immediate outcomes. When you develop patience, anxiety about the future begins to fade. You don't need to prove yourself to everyone. Trying to impress others creates constant pressure. It forces you to act in ways that are not aligned with your true values. Stoicism encourages authenticity. When you live according to your principles, you remove the stress of pretending. Control your reactions, and you control your life. This is not an exaggeration, it's a reality. Most problems escalate because of emotional reactions. Anger, frustration, and impulsive decisions create consequences that could have been avoided. When you master your reactions, you prevent unnecessary chaos. Silence can be more powerful than words. When you choose not to engage in negativity, arguments, or unnecessary explanations, you maintain your peace. Not everything deserves your voice. Sometimes, the strongest response is no response at all. Your focus determines your experience. If you constantly focus on problems, your life will feel heavy. But if you focus on solutions, growth, and opportunity, your perspective changes. Stoicism trains your mind to look for what can be done, not what cannot. There is strength in letting go. Holding on to past mistakes, regrets, or resentment only keeps you stuck. You cannot change what has already happened, but you can control what you do next. Letting go is not weakness, it is a decision to move forward without unnecessary weight. You become what you repeatedly do. If you consistently choose calm over chaos, discipline over distraction, and clarity over confusion, those choices become your identity. Stoicism is not about occasional effort, it's about daily practice. Your attention is one of your most valuable resources. Where you place it determines the quality of your life. If you constantly give your attention to negativity, drama, and distractions, your mind will reflect that. But if you direct it toward growth and purpose, everything changes. Challenges reveal your level of preparation. When life becomes difficult, it exposes how well you have trained your mind. Instead of fearing challenges, welcome them. They show you where you stand and where you need to improve. You don't need to have everything figured out. Trying to control every detail of your life creates unnecessary pressure. Stoicism teaches you to focus on the present step. Handle what is in front of you, and trust that clarity will come as you move forward. Self-discipline creates freedom. It may feel restrictive at first, but in reality, it removes chaos from your life. When you control your habits, you reduce stress, increase focus, and create stability. Discipline is not a limitation, it's a path to peace. Your mindset is your responsibility. You cannot blame your environment, your past, or other people for how you think. At some point, you must take ownership of your mind. Stoicism gives you the tools, but you must choose to use them. Every moment is an opportunity to reset. No matter how stressful your day has been, you can pause, breathe, and regain control. You are never completely stuck. There is always a way to return to clarity. The less you depend on external circumstances for happiness, the more stable your life becomes. If your peace relies on things going perfectly, you will always feel anxious. But if your peace comes from within, nothing can easily disturb it. Your growth is your responsibility. No one else can do the work for you. They can guide you, inspire you, and support you, but the decision to improve must come from you. Stoicism empowers you to take that responsibility fully. You don't need to rush your progress. Growth is not a race. Moving too fast often leads to burnout and frustration. Slow, consistent improvement creates lasting change. Trust the pace that allows you to stay steady. Awareness is the first step to control. You cannot change what you do not notice. Pay attention to your thoughts, your reactions, and your habits. The more aware you become, the more control you gain. There is a difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is automatic and emotional. Responding is intentional and thoughtful. Stoicism trains you to respond. That single shift can transform your entire life. You are capable of more than you think. Most limitations are self-imposed. When you challenge those limits, you realize that your potential is far greater than you believed. Stoicism pushes you to discover that strength. At the end of everything, what matters most is who you become. Not what you achieve, not what you accumulate, but the strength of your character. Stoicism is about building that character, day by day. If you're ready to take control of your mind, reduce stress, and build unshakable strength, stay connected. Subscribe to the channel for more insights that will guide you toward a calmer, more focused, and more powerful life. Your transformation is just getting started. There is a moment in everyone's life where they realize that constant stress is not coming from the world, it's coming from how they interpret the world. That realization is powerful. It shifts you from being a victim of circumstances to becoming the architect of your inner peace. Stoicism begins right there, in that awareness that your mind is the gatekeeper of your experience. When you begin to observe your thoughts closely, you notice patterns. The same worries repeating, the same fears showing up in different forms, the same doubts holding you back. Most people never question these patterns, they just accept them as truth. But a Stoic questions everything. Is this thought useful? Is it helping me or harming me? If not, it must be challenged. Your mind is constantly telling stories. Stories about what might go wrong. Stories about what others think of you. Stories about your past mistakes. And the more you believe these stories, the more anxious you become. Stoicism teaches you to separate facts from fiction. Not every thought deserves your belief. Calmness is not something you find, it's something you build. You build it through repetition, through discipline, through awareness. Each time you choose not to overreact, you strengthen your calm. Each time you let go of unnecessary worry, you deepen your peace. Over time, calmness becomes your default state. One of the most underrated skills in life is emotional control. Not suppression, not denial, but control. The ability to feel emotions without being controlled by them. Anger may arise, but you don't act on it. Fear may appear, but you don't let it stop you. This level of control creates stability in a chaotic world. There is a quiet strength in being unbothered. Not because nothing affects you, but because you choose what affects you. You become selective with your energy. You don't allow small inconveniences to disturb your peace. You don't allow other people's opinions to define your worth. You stand firm in your own mindset. Your breathing is a powerful tool that most people ignore. When stress rises, your breathing becomes shallow and rapid. This signals your body that something is wrong. But when you slow your breathing, you send a signal of safety. This simple act can instantly reduce anxiety and bring you back to the present moment. Presence is where peace lives. Stress often comes from thinking about the future or replaying the past. But when you focus fully on the present moment, those worries lose their power. Stoicism teaches you to anchor yourself in now, because right now, in this moment, you are in control. The world will always have chaos. There will always be noise, pressure, and uncertainty. But your inner world does not have to reflect that chaos. You can create a space within yourself that remains calm, focused, and steady regardless of what is happening outside. You don't need to win every argument. In fact, most arguments are not worth winning. They drain your energy and disturb your peace. Stoicism teaches you to choose your battles wisely. Sometimes, the smartest move is to walk away and protect your mental clarity. Your expectations shape your reactions. When you expect life to be easy, every challenge feels like a burden. But when you expect challenges, you are prepared for them. This shift in expectation reduces frustration and increases resilience. There is a difference between being busy and being productive. Many people fill their days with activities but still feel unfulfilled and stressed. Stoicism encourages intentional action. Focus on what truly matters. Eliminate what does not. This creates clarity and reduces overwhelm. Your thoughts are like seeds. Whatever you plant will grow. If you plant negativity, doubt, and fear, your mind will reflect that. But if you plant discipline, clarity, and strength, your mind will become a powerful ally. Be intentional about what you allow to take root. You don't need external validation to feel complete. The moment you rely on others to feel worthy, you give them control over your emotions. Stoicism teaches self-sufficiency. Your worth comes from your actions, your character, and your discipline, not from opinions. There is peace in knowing that not everything is meant for you. Some opportunities will pass, some relationships will end, some plans will fail, and that's okay. Stoicism teaches acceptance. What is meant for you will align with your path. What is not will fall away. Your resilience grows every time you face difficulty without breaking. Each challenge you overcome adds another layer of strength to your character. Over time, things that once felt overwhelming become manageable. This is how you build an unshakable mind. You cannot control how others treat you, but you can control how you respond. This single principle can transform your relationships. Instead of reacting emotionally, you respond with clarity. You maintain your standards regardless of others' behavior. There is power in routine. When your life has structure, your mind feels more stable. You reduce decision fatigue. You create consistency. Stoicism values routine because it builds discipline and reduces unnecessary stress. Your mind often exaggerates problems. A small issue becomes a major concern because of overthinking. Stoicism teaches you to break things down. Look at the situation objectively. Most problems are not as big as they seem when you remove emotional distortion. You don't need to escape discomfort. You need to understand it. Discomfort is often a sign of growth. When you lean into it instead of avoiding it, you expand your limits. You become more capable, more confident, and less afraid. Your attention is constantly being pulled in different directions. Notifications, social media, external noise, it all competes for your focus. Stoicism teaches you to reclaim your attention, to decide what deserves your focus and what does not. There is strength in solitude. Spending time alone allows you to reflect, to think clearly, and to reconnect with yourself. In solitude, you can observe your thoughts without distraction. This is where true understanding begins. You are not defined by your past. No matter what mistakes you've made, they do not control your future unless you allow them to. Stoicism teaches you to learn from the past, not live in it. Your power is in what you do next. The more you simplify your life, the less stress you experience. Complexity creates confusion. Simplicity creates clarity. Focus on what is essential. Remove what is unnecessary. This creates space for peace to grow. Your mindset determines your experience more than your circumstances. Two people can live the same life and feel completely different about it. The difference is perspective. Stoicism gives you the tools to shape that perspective intentionally. You don't have to react to every emotion you feel. Emotions are temporary. They rise and fall. When you learn to observe them without acting on them, you gain control. This prevents impulsive decisions that often lead to regret. There is power in gratitude, even in difficult times. When you can find something to appreciate despite challenges, you shift your focus from lack to abundance. This reduces stress and increases resilience. Your life is shaped by your daily choices. Not the big decisions, but the small ones you make consistently. Each choice either strengthens your discipline or weakens it. Stoicism encourages you to choose wisely, moment by moment. At the end of the day, peace is not something you find outside, it's something you build within. And once you build it, no external force can easily take it away. That is the true power of Stoicism. If you've stayed with this message, it means you're ready for more than just temporary motivation. You're ready for transformation. Subscribe to the channel for more powerful insights that will help you master your mind, eliminate unnecessary stress, and build a life of clarity, strength, and purpose. Clarity begins when you stop running from yourself. Many people stay busy not because they are productive, but because they are avoiding something within. Silence feels uncomfortable because it reveals the truth. But Stoicism teaches you to face that silence, to sit with your thoughts, understand them, and refine them until they serve you instead of control you. You don't need to feel ready to act. Readiness is often an illusion that keeps you stuck. The Stoic moves forward despite uncertainty. Action creates clarity, not the other way around. When you take a step, even a small one, you break the cycle of hesitation and begin to build momentum. Your mind will always look for what is wrong. It is wired to detect problems as a survival mechanism. But in modern life, this often leads to unnecessary stress. Stoicism trains you to balance that instinct, to recognize problems without becoming consumed by them, to remain aware, but not overwhelmed. The quality of your life is directly linked to the quality of your focus. If your focus is scattered, your life will feel chaotic. But if your focus is sharp and intentional, everything becomes clearer. Stoicism is about sharpening that focus, cutting away distractions and concentrating on what truly matters. You must become comfortable being misunderstood. Not everyone will see your vision. Not everyone will agree with your choices. If you constantly seek approval, you will live in hesitation. But when you accept that misunderstanding is part of the journey, you move with confidence and freedom. There is a difference between reacting quickly and responding wisely. Speed is not always strength. Sometimes, the strongest move is to wait, observe, and think. Stoicism teaches patience in action. It allows you to respond with precision instead of impulse. Your emotions are signals, not commands. They tell you something is happening, but they do not tell you what to do. When you treat emotions as instructions, you lose control. But when you treat them as information, you gain insight. This shift changes everything. Stop carrying what is not yours. Other people's opinions, expectations, and negativity are not your responsibility. When you carry them, you add unnecessary weight to your life. Stoicism teaches you to release what does not belong to you and focus on your own path. You don't need constant entertainment. The need to always be distracted weakens your ability to think deeply. When you reduce distractions, your mind becomes sharper. You begin to notice things you once overlooked. You gain a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. Your standards define your boundaries. If you allow everything into your life, you will feel overwhelmed. But when you set clear boundaries, what you accept and what you reject, you create a sense of control. Stoicism encourages strong boundaries because they protect your peace. There is strength in doing less, but doing it well. You don't need to chase every opportunity or respond to every demand. Focus on a few things that truly matter and give them your full attention. This reduces stress and increases the quality of your results. You are not in competition with the world. The constant pressure to keep up with others creates anxiety. Stoicism removes the pressure. It reminds you that your journey is unique. Your only responsibility is to improve yourself, not to outpace others. Your reactions become habits if you don't challenge them. If you always respond with frustration, that becomes your default. But when you interrupt that pattern and choose a different response, you begin to rewire your mind. This is how transformation happens. There is peace in accepting imperfection. You will not always get things right. You will make mistakes. But perfection is not the goal. Progress is. Stoicism teaches you to learn, adjust, and keep moving forward without unnecessary self-judgment. You must learn to trust yourself. Doubt creates hesitation, and hesitation creates missed opportunities. When you trust your judgment, you move with confidence. Even if things don't go as planned, you know you can handle the outcome. Your environment should support your growth. If it constantly pulls you into negativity, distraction, or stress, it becomes harder to maintain clarity. Stoicism encourages you to design your environment in a way that aligns with your values and goals. There is a quiet power in consistency. It may not feel exciting, but it is effective. Small, repeated actions create lasting change. When you commit to consistency, you build a foundation that cannot easily be shaken. You don't need to control every outcome. Trying to do so creates unnecessary tension. Focus on your effort, your preparation, and your mindset. Let the results come as they may. This reduces anxiety and increases your ability to stay present. Your thoughts are not permanent. They change constantly. What feels overwhelming today may feel manageable tomorrow. Stoicism teaches you not to attach yourself too strongly to any single thought or emotion. There is strength in restraint. Not saying everything you think. Not reacting to every impulse. Not chasing every desire. Restraint creates control, and control creates stability. You must learn to separate urgency from importance. Not everything that feels urgent is important. When you prioritize correctly, you reduce stress and focus on what truly matters. Your peace is your responsibility. No one else can create it for you, and no one else can maintain it. Stoicism gives you the tools, but you must choose to apply them daily. There is no finish line to this journey. Mastery of the mind is a lifelong process. But with each step, you become stronger, calmer, and more focused. That progress is what matters. Every challenge you face is shaping you. It is either making you stronger or exposing where you need to grow. When you embrace this perspective, stress becomes less of a burden and more of a guide. You don't need to have everything under control to feel at peace. You only need to control how you respond. That is where your true power lies. If you're still here, it means you're committed to growth. Don't stop now. Subscribe to the channel for more insights that will continue to sharpen your mindset, strengthen your discipline, and help you rise above stress and anxiety. Your best version is built one thought, one action, and one decision at a time. Life will constantly test your patience. Situations, people, and circumstances will push against you. The Stoic does not see this as unfair, it is an opportunity. Every difficulty is a chance to practice endurance, to strengthen your mind, and to refine your character. Challenges are the gym of the soul. The more you embrace them, the stronger you become. Many people live distracted, letting the noise of the world dictate their mood. Social media, constant notifications, and endless comparisons fragment the mind. Stoicism teaches you to reclaim your focus. Decide what deserves your attention and let the rest fade. Peace grows when you protect your mental space. Your perception is your greatest power. Two people can face the same situation and feel completely different. One will panic, while the other will remain calm. This is because perspective shapes reality. Stoicism trains you to see events objectively, without unnecessary emotional distortion. Stress often comes from seeing things as personal attacks when they're not. The mind thrives on routine. Discipline is built through consistent action, not sporadic effort. When you structure your day with intention, prioritizing clarity, focus, and growth, you create stability. The habits you form in these small daily choices compound into resilience and calm. Silence is not emptiness, it is a tool. In silence, your thoughts are visible, and your emotions are revealed. Many avoid silence because it exposes discomfort, but Stoicism encourages it. Through quiet reflection, you understand yourself better, gain insight, and strengthen control over impulses. Control your desires, and you control your life. Wanting too much or seeking instant gratification leads to frustration. Stoicism teaches moderation, recognizing what is necessary and letting go of what is not. When you master desire, anxiety diminishes because you no longer depend on fleeting outcomes for peace. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. Holding on to resentment or anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. Stoicism teaches you to release grudges, not for others, but to free your own mind. Peace comes from letting go. You cannot change external events, but you can always change your response. This is the essence of power in Stoicism. By focusing on what is within your control, your thoughts, actions, and decisions, you transform stress into opportunity and anxiety into clarity. Preparation is key. Anticipate challenges before they arrive. Visualize setbacks, imagine obstacles, and plan how you will respond. This is not pessimism, it is training. When the real difficulty comes, it feels manageable because your mind has already rehearsed it. Every setback is temporary. Life's events are fleeting, emotions are fleeting. Stoicism teaches you to observe this impermanence. No matter how difficult today may seem, it will pass. Your task is to navigate it with calm, resilience, and wisdom. Your environment influences your mind. Surround yourself with people, information, and habits that support growth. Remove distractions, reduce negativity, and protect your focus. The calmer your environment, the calmer your mind. You are not your thoughts or emotions. They are signals, not commands. Observing them without attachment allows you to act deliberately rather than react impulsively. Stoicism is training the mind to respond, not to be controlled. Discipline is freedom. When you cultivate control over your actions, habits, and reactions, external chaos no longer dictates your inner peace. Freedom is not doing whatever you want, it is doing what is right, even when it is difficult. Patience is strength. Most people rush, seeking immediate results. Stoicism teaches that lasting change takes time. When you embrace the process, stress diminishes because you are no longer fighting against time or circumstance. Focus on what matters. Life is full of distractions and trivial concerns. Identify what aligns with your values, energy, and purpose. Direct your mind there, and release the rest. Simplicity and focus bring clarity and peace. Each day is an opportunity to practice Stoicism. You will make mistakes, feel frustrated, and face challenges. But that is the training ground. Consistent reflection and action build resilience. The mind becomes stronger with each test it faces. Your strength grows in adversity. Difficult situations reveal your capacity for endurance, wisdom, and clarity. Stress is a teacher disguised as an enemy. When you face it with awareness, it strengthens rather than diminishes you. You are in control of your happiness. Not circumstances, not people, not external events. Stoicism teaches that true contentment comes from mastery of the mind. By regulating thoughts, actions, and expectations, you cultivate inner stability. If you are committed to mastering stress, building resilience, and transforming your life, the journey begins here. Subscribe to the channel to receive ongoing insights that strengthen your mind, sharpen your focus, and guide you toward unshakable calm and clarity. Peace is not found. It is created, moment by moment. Life is unpredictable, and stress often comes from trying to make it predictable. You cannot control every situation, every person, or every outcome. But you can control your perception, your response, and your actions. Stoicism teaches that freedom is found in focusing only on what is within your control. Let go of the rest, and watch how your anxiety begins to fade. Every challenge you face is temporary, but your reaction to it can be permanent. Most people react instinctively, allowing stress to take hold. The Stoic pauses. They breathe. They assess. They respond intentionally. This pause is where power is found. You cannot stop life from testing you, but you can choose to remain steady in the storm. Reflection is a tool for mastery. Each night, review your day. What did you handle well? Where did you allow frustration or anxiety to take over? Stoicism encourages you to learn from each day, not to dwell in regret, but to refine your mind for tomorrow. Small adjustments build extraordinary strength over time. Your environment constantly shapes your thoughts and emotions. If you fill your life with chaos, social media noise, negative people, endless distractions, your mind will mirror it. Create an environment that supports calm, focus, and growth. Protect your attention as if it were the most valuable resource in your life, because it is. Emotions are signals, not instructions. Fear, anger, and frustration are natural, but they do not need to dictate your actions. Observe them, understand why they appear. Then choose your response. Stoicism trains you to act with clarity, not impulse. This is how anxiety is disarmed and stress is neutralized. Silence is not empty. It is powerful. Many avoid silence because it forces self-reflection, but it is in these quiet moments that you gain clarity and control. Spend time alone. Observe your thoughts. Listen to your inner voice. In the stillness, wisdom emerges. You cannot control how others behave, but you can control how you respond. This principle is the cornerstone of freedom. When you accept that people will act according to their nature and that their opinions do not define your value, stress begins to melt away. Your focus returns to what truly matters, your actions and your mind. Discipline creates freedom. On the surface, it seems restrictive to follow routines, control impulses, and train the mind. But this control frees you from chaos, reduces anxiety, and strengthens resilience. Each disciplined choice compounds, making life smoother, clearer, and more manageable. Patience is a superpower. The world moves fast, but wisdom moves deliberately. Do not rush outcomes. Do not demand instant results. When you align with process rather than expectation, stress diminishes. You no longer battle the clock, you move with intention. Your thoughts shape your reality. Negative thinking, doubt, and worry magnify stress, while clarity, focus, and acceptance reduce it. Practice observing your thoughts without attachment. Question their validity. Only then can you respond rationally and maintain peace of mind. Gratitude is a shield against anxiety. Focus on what is present rather than what is missing. Even in difficulty, there are small blessings: air to breathe, strength to endure, opportunities to learn. When you acknowledge these, your mind becomes lighter, calmer, and more resilient. You are stronger than your fears. Anxiety often makes problems seem bigger than they are. Stoicism teaches you to break challenges into manageable parts, to act deliberately, and to trust your capability. Fear loses its power when you face it with preparation and perspective. Your daily habits determine your mental state. Discipline, reflection, and intentional action create a foundation of calm. Neglect, distraction, and reactive behavior build chaos. Stoicism emphasizes the small, repeated choices that shape character and mental stability. Letting go is liberating. Release what you cannot control: opinions, outcomes, external events. Carry only what serves your growth. Stoicism teaches that peace is not the absence of challenges, it is the absence of unnecessary attachment. Time is limited, and the more you resist what you cannot control, the more energy is wasted. Focus on what is essential. Simplify your life. Direct your energy toward improvement, understanding, and discipline. Everything else is noise. Every adversity carries a lesson. Stoicism reframes stress as a teacher rather than an enemy. When life challenges you, ask, what can I learn? How can I grow? This shift transforms obstacles into opportunities, making you stronger with each experience. Your journey is unique. Comparison fuels anxiety. Someone else's success does not diminish yours. Focus on your path, your growth, and your decisions. Stoicism emphasizes self-mastery, not competing with others. You do not need constant approval or validation. Your worth is determined by your actions, your character, and your discipline, not by what others think. This understanding frees the mind from unnecessary pressure and anxiety. Stress often comes from the illusion of control. We believe that if we can manage everything around us, we will be safe and comfortable. But life is unpredictable. The Stoic learns to control only what is within their power: thoughts, actions, and responses. Everything else is outside your control, and worrying about it only drains your energy. Let it go. Every moment is an opportunity to practice calmness. When frustration rises, notice it. When anxiety appears, pause. Breathe. Observe without judgment. This simple act of awareness interrupts automatic reactions and gives you the power to respond deliberately. Each moment you practice this, your mind becomes stronger. You do not need to be busy to be productive. Many people fill their days with trivial activity, believing it is progress. Stoicism teaches focus. Do what is essential. Remove distractions. Let your energy flow toward meaningful actions. This creates clarity, reduces stress, and strengthens purpose. Your habits shape your mind more than your intentions ever will. Discipline is built in small, repeated actions. Waking early, reflecting, journaling, and practicing patience all compound over time. Each deliberate choice creates a mind that is resilient, calm, and unshakable. Silence is your ally. In a world filled with constant noise, silence allows clarity. Sit quietly, reflect, let your thoughts come and go, observe without attachment. In this stillness, you gain insight, you regain control, and you discover strength that cannot be shaken by external chaos. Embrace discomfort as a teacher. Avoidance creates anxiety, but confronting challenges builds resilience. Each difficulty you face without resistance strengthens your mind. Stoicism teaches that adversity is not an enemy, it is a tool to refine your character. Let go of what does not belong to you. Other people's opinions, societal pressures, and unnecessary obligations weigh heavily on the mind. Stoicism reminds you to carry only what is yours. Release the rest, and feel the freedom that comes with lightness. Your perspective determines your experience. Two people can live the same life yet feel completely different. Stoicism trains you to interpret events with clarity. What feels like a catastrophe may simply be a lesson. What feels like an obstacle may be an opportunity. Choose perspective intentionally. Patience is not weakness, it is strength. The world values speed, but calm, deliberate action yields lasting results. When you embrace patience, anxiety fades. You are no longer racing against time or circumstance. You move in harmony with it. Observe your thoughts without attachment. Fear, doubt, and frustration are natural, but they do not need to dictate your actions. The Stoic mind sees emotions as signals, not commands. Respond with reason, not impulse. This is how stress is neutralized. You are not defined by your past. Mistakes, failures, and regrets are experiences, not identities. Learn from them, but do not dwell. Focus on the present and the choices you make now. That is where your true power lies. Gratitude transforms perception. Even in difficult times, there is something to appreciate: a breath, a moment of clarity, a lesson learned. Focusing on these small elements shifts the mind from lack to abundance, reducing anxiety and strengthening resilience. Your environment shapes your thoughts. Protect it. Reduce distractions, negativity, and unnecessary noise. Surround yourself with people, information, and habits that support growth. Peace flourishes where focus is cultivated. Discipline creates freedom. The more control you have over your actions, habits, and impulses, the less you are ruled by external chaos. Each act of self-control compounds, building a life that is calmer, clearer, and more purposeful. Acceptance does not mean passivity. Accept what you cannot change, and focus on what you can. Resistance creates suffering. Understanding and action create mastery. Stoicism teaches you to respond wisely, not react emotionally. Reflection is a tool for growth. Each evening, consider your day, your successes, your frustrations, and your reactions. Learn, adjust, and improve. Consistent reflection trains the mind to notice patterns, anticipate challenges, and act deliberately. Your strength grows quietly, in moments no one sees. Each time you resist anger, act with patience, or respond with clarity, you build a mind that cannot be easily shaken. Over time, this quiet strength becomes your natural state. Comparison breeds stress. Another person's success, opinion, or behavior does not define you. Your path is unique. Focus on your progress, your discipline, and your choices. Let others live their journey. You live yours intentionally. Your reactions determine your experience. The world will test you. People will challenge you. Situations will frustrate you. You cannot control them, but you can control your response. This is the essence of inner freedom and the cornerstone of a Stoic mindset. Notice your breath. Inhale slowly, hold for a moment, and exhale fully. With each breath, Feel your body relax. Stress begins in the mind, but the body follows. Calm your body, and your mind will follow. Let each breath anchor you in this moment, free from worry, free from tension. Stress often grows in anticipation of what may come. You imagine problems that have not yet occurred and magnify them in your mind. Stoicism reminds you, only the present moment is real. The past is gone, and the future is unknown. Anchor yourself in the now. This moment is where your power resides. As you breathe, allow your mind to notice any tension, any unease. Where do you feel it in your body? Simply observe. Do not fight it, do not judge it, just notice. Awareness is the first step toward control. By observing, you create distance between yourself and the stress that arises. Reflect on what is within your control. Your thoughts, your actions, your responses, these are yours. Everything else, other people's opinions, circumstances, outcomes, is outside your power. Focus your energy where it matters. Release what you cannot control. Let it go. Every challenge is a lesson. Consider a difficulty you faced recently. Instead of replaying frustration, imagine the opportunity hidden within it. What can you learn? How can it make you stronger? Stoicism teaches that adversity is not punishment, it is a teacher. Silence is powerful. Let your mind rest for a few moments in stillness. No thoughts, no distractions, just awareness. In this quiet space, clarity emerges. Wisdom grows. You are not passive here. You are strengthening your mind by simply observing. Think of one thing you can release right now. Perhaps it is a worry, a regret, or a frustration. Imagine placing it on a cloud and watching it float away. This is not denial, it is liberation. Stoicism teaches that peace comes when we let go of what does not serve us now. Consider your actions. Are they aligned with your values? Are they deliberate or automatic? Each day is an opportunity to practice virtue, patience, and clarity. Every deliberate choice strengthens your mind, reduces stress, and builds resilience. Your mind will offer distractions. Thoughts of what you should have done, what you might fail at, or what others may think. Acknowledge them, but do not follow them. Return to your breath, to your awareness, to the present moment. This is how calm is cultivated. Visualize yourself facing a challenge with composure. You remain calm. You respond intentionally. You do not allow fear or anger to dictate your actions. The difficulty does not control you, your mind does. Stoicism is the training that allows this mastery. As you continue breathing, repeat silently, I control my mind. I control my reactions. I am steady and calm. Let these words sink in, let them become a foundation. Each repetition reinforces the habit of inner control. Think about patience. Life unfolds in its own time. You cannot force outcomes. Each moment of waiting is not wasted. It is practice in endurance. Trust the process. Move deliberately, and let time do its work. Reflect on your environment. Are there sources of stress you can remove? Negative influences, distractions, unnecessary obligations. Clear your space, protect your attention, and create a calm environment that supports focus and growth. Now, focus on gratitude. Even in challenges, there is something to appreciate. A lesson learned, a strength discovered, a small comfort. Gratitude is not denial of difficulty. It is recognition of what is still positive. Let it lighten your mind. Imagine carrying only what is yours. Release the burdens of others' expectations, opinions, and negativity. They do not belong to you. Peace grows as you lighten your load, step by step. Notice your posture. Sit or stand with awareness. Relax your shoulders, Release tension in your jaw, soften your gaze. The body and mind are connected. When the body is steady, the mind is calm. Stoicism emphasizes the harmony of thought, action, and physical presence. Think about control. What situation currently challenges you? Imagine approaching it with calm, clarity, and deliberate action. You cannot control the outcome, but you can control your effort, your focus, and your response. This is true power. Repeat silently. I respond, I do not react. I am calm. I am strong. Let these affirmations guide your mind. Each repetition strengthens your neural pathways, reinforcing calm and deliberate thought. Focus now on impermanence. Everything changes. Circumstances, emotions, events. Stress often comes from trying to hold on to what cannot be held. Accept impermanence. Flow with it. Adapt. Peace grows when resistance fades. Reflect on your growth. Every challenge you have faced has shaped your strength. Every moment of composure, patience, or clarity has reinforced your character. You are more resilient than you realize. Stoicism teaches recognition of progress as fuel for continued mastery. Return to your breath. Inhale deeply, hold, and exhale fully. Let each breath anchor you in the present. Feel your mind settle. Feel your body relax. Stress has no hold over you when your awareness is clear. Take a deep breath. Inhale slowly, hold for a moment, and exhale fully. Let the tension in your body melt with each breath. Notice the rise and fall of your chest. Let your mind rest in this rhythm. Stress cannot thrive when your awareness is anchored in the present. Now, bring your attention to your thoughts. Observe them as if you were watching clouds passing in the sky. Some may be dark, some light, some fleeting. Notice them without judgment. You do not need to engage with every thought. Let them drift by, returning always to your breath. Reflect on what is within your control. Your mind, your reactions, your choices. These are yours, and yours alone. Everything else, other people's opinions, outcomes, circumstances, are outside your power. By focusing only on what you control, you conserve energy and strengthen your inner calm. Picture a recent challenge or source of stress. Instead of reacting emotionally, imagine facing it with clarity and composure. You pause, breathe, and choose your response deliberately. The situation does not dictate your state of mind. Your discipline does. Allow silence to settle over you. In this quiet, notice your physical sensations. Your shoulders, your jaw, your hands. Release any tension. Let your body relax fully. As the body relaxes, the mind follows. Calm flows naturally when the physical and mental are aligned. Now, think of one worry that has been lingering. Imagine holding it in your hand. Visualize letting it go. Place it on a cloud. Watch it drift away, leaving your mind lighter, clearer. Stoicism teaches that peace comes not from avoiding problems, but from releasing unnecessary attachment to them. Repeat silently. I control my mind. I control my reactions. I am calm. I am steady. Let these words anchor your awareness. Each repetition reinforces the habit of intentional thought and deliberate response. Focus on patience. Life unfolds in its own time. The world moves fast, but wisdom moves deliberately. Every moment of waiting is not wasted. It is practice in endurance and composure. Trust the process. Let time work with you, not against you. Bring attention to gratitude. Even in difficulty, there are small blessings. Perhaps a lesson learned, a small comfort, or a moment of clarity. Allow these to fill your mind. Gratitude lightens the burden of stress and strengthens resilience. Consider your environment. Are there distractions, negativity, or unnecessary noise influencing your mind. Stoicism teaches that the mind thrives in clarity and simplicity. Protect your focus, remove what